Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Bob Trade Genius. The 12th of April already, and I want to talk to you about the market today. So we had turnaround Tuesday, and then we had turnaround Tuesday. So it did what I thought at the open, and then it kind of went kaput. So the calls they bought, we were able to sell, and then toward the end of the day, I'll get to a little closer here. Um, we were able to buy some puts, but now this is the ES. Put in a hammer overnight. Wednesdays are typically indecisive Wednesdays, but this market's having a really hard time keeping a bid in the afternoon, which to me speaks of distribution by big money. So something we're gonna have to keep an eye on, and it's coming up again on some resistance here. So we're just gonna have to see on ES. I was hoping that we'd be able to cook through the rest of the week on a high, but the market has other plans here for us, it appears. Now, kind of good news, bad news. Here's the good news. Obviously, we're gold bugs here. So this was the gold move today. Let me go up $24. So gold's trying to start to push out again here. And I think the market's realizing that inflation is higher than the Fed's ability to rein it in the near term. So I think we're going to see gold continue to get bid here until they decide to destroy the economy if they keep raising interest rates. So we're at the top of the Sisyphus mountain. One mountain we rolled to inflation, the other mountain we rolled to deflation. So there's no easy choices anymore. We just have to be able to react correctly to the direction the market's going and work our trades that way. I'm leaning that we're going to get a little bit of both. We're going to get inflation in the economy, and we're going to get deflation in some of the assets, because who can afford a home if we get mortgage rates continue to go higher? Number one. And number two is that companies, there's like 20% or so of the S&P 500 that's cash flow negative. They got to keep borrowing money, and they roll it short. They're doing short-term money, and they're going to have to pay more and more interest on that money. So it's going to be a problem for them too. So we have things we got to worry about here. I just don't know when the big break's going to come. But going long and going to all-time highs because we have inflation is probably ending at this point. So just bear that in mind. So we had some interesting action in oil too. So remember I was talking about oil that needed to hold the this range trader line. Well, it essentially did. It held, and broke up. So now it brings the high back into play, and believe it or not. And so now the Obama administration is talking about doing E85 gas, or they call it E15, and but it's another short-term fix. They're just trying to wait out Russia as if Russia is the supply problem. And so this is going to be problematic for the Obama administration. They're running out of SPR. Now they're going after the ethanol market. And once that's done, they played all their cards other than letting us produce more or get more in from Canada to ease the pressure off the U.S. markets and to cause the price level to fall. So there's only one other way they could do it if they're not going to increase supply is they're going to have to go ahead and decrease demand. And I think that's going to probably be coming. But in the meantime, it was saved again. And so now we look at 107 and we look at 116 and we look at 127. But if it rolls back down and breaks this low, then we're going to drop at least $10 and then maybe all the way down to 65. So got to play it by ear. And with that in mind, I had a nice trade on Matador. It broke out today, but it broke back in. I don't like when something breaks out and comes back in, so I closed the trade. made money on this trade, but I'm out, and we're out at Trade Genius as well. And so CCJ also did that as well. CCJ broke out, but it stayed in a pretty good level here, even though it broke back in to this below this prior high. Uranium has a different economics than oil does, because it is definitely in deficit, definitely long term, definitely recession proof. They're gonna have to keep buying it. So this is like basically on an algo walk here, and it's going to continue to do so, in my opinion. My target's still in the 50s on this. So any dips you get, buy it. Definitely if it comes down to $28 or $29, add to your position, as I will. And I have a very substantial position in this now. It's my personal largest position. And I will definitely add on dips. And then I'll be looking to scale out of this position when we get into the 50s. Again, my voice, I so apologize. I don't know how it's going to heal if I have to talk every day for as long as I do, but I'll try to manage. Okay, so what other trades we had? Oh, we did this trade as well. We had ATER. This is a trade that got from one of our subscribers, actually. I wish I could take credit for it. So we bought it down here at the low 400s. It dipped yesterday and it rocketed up today. We went ahead and closed the trade. It probably has a lot farther to go, but in this environment, and if we can catch trades that are making us 6, 7, 8% in 2 days, I think we're going to take them. And then we'll look to buy them back on pullbacks if it still has a legs to stand on. So that's kind of what we're looking on. And then some areas that we're looking to get short, well, I already did. We'll see what happens. But these are the cloud companies, Datadog, Net, and Snow. They did a little bit of a counter trend move. The market's been weak 2 days. They pushed higher. We're starting to get a bit of a inverted hammer here. It's definitely weak, and it's weakening. And here's Snow. So if you want a YOLO trade, one that could pay a lot of bills if it hits, these guys' price to sales ratios are all over 50, in some cases over 100. So they're definitely something to keep an eye on. Snow looks the weakest here at the moment. And then there's also Net, NET. And that one looks weak as well. That's a nice inverted hammer. Have these things roll down? I mean, look at the support levels on these. $76, 40% move for Snow. We have down here at 165. It's at 210. Nice 17, 20% move here as well. So there's definitely some opportunities for us to take some things short. But by all means, it won't be the only one. I think Nvidia is starting to look a little weak too. And it already rolled over pretty hard. So now with Nvidia, support. There's no such thing as a quadruple bottom. So let's take a look out a little bit further. And I think Nvidia might be in deep trouble here. Okay, so here's the ledge. So anything under 200, 205, we're looking down at 180, and then we're looking down at 140. So this might be a shot here to take some puts as well. So just keep an eye on this, but it definitely looks weak, and might be some opportunities on the short side. I also bought SARK today. This is my go-to short position, and I think it's going to pop back up again. She's saying now, claiming 50% is going to be her return on investment. She's just getting crazier and crazier, and I don't still know if it's going to play out for her. There's not so much innovation in a recession, and the Biden administration has taken us one there very, 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 very quickly. So we got to keep an eye on these tech companies, because when they implode, a lot of them don't make any money, and they're going to go downtown really, really fast. Now, a nice thing too is SLV is getting a bid. So hopefully it's going to break out of its range here pretty soon. It's a nice W bottom, but then it fell back. If it breaks back over 24 area, then we have a shot here, 26. A lot of people are seeing cup and handles on gold. I'm hopeful, but for whatever reason, these guys have a hard on for these guys. So they're really going to have to prove themselves to make things happen. So, and then one trade I did not take is that we got our SVIX. We lost money on this trade on on turnaround Tuesday because it popped and then it broke right back down again. So it was a bust for us. I got right out, lost 20 cents, 30 cents on the trade, but I'm still trying to learn this thing. But I didn't buy UVIX. It moved pretty fast ahead of me, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. So I'm still kind of watching it and trying to figure out what's the best time frame to take these trades in this, because I think ultimately it's going to be a great swing trade for us. Now, the thing about VIX, it's closed end, and the UVIX is a double. So eventually, you're gonna see slippage in this, but it's still pretty new, and VIX is still pretty active. So eventually, we're gonna figure it out, and I think it'll be a good trade for us. But still experimenting. I'm kind of neutral on it. I mean, I have as many losses and wins on it, but eventually we'll figure it out, and it's going to be a good trade, especially if we get some sustained moves down or up. You make a lot of money on this instead of this chop that we're in right now ahead of the Fed. Okay, let's see. I'm going to let you go. One more thing that I'm in is wheat and precious metals. Kind of pulled back from its highs today, but I really like this, especially now. I think if TNX, which is right here, has topped, and we may have gotten a top in the in the 10-year for this point, then WPM will go higher. Loves silver, loves gold, loves lower interest rates, and it will make for a good trade. But I'm still in it right now. Still holding most of my miners. I'm still holding most of my energy positions, and I'm trimming where I can. So anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll catch you all Wednesday tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. Bye-bye.